Hey, what's
We
up?
still gotta literally work
Why
on
is this
that.
not working?
If the mic is working, I hope it is working. Follow us at B.o.P on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and now we're on TikTok. My first official video, but not me personally. It's from just a random post
There
with
it is.
news of Square Enix. So make sure you tune into that. Any feedback, let us know in the chat on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, and all that jazz. Right?
Right, right.
Man, it feels like we never did this. We would try to be on time, and it didn't work out as much. Didn't work out as planned. I hope you guys hear me correct, because my mic has been messing up, but the show must go on. Look good, but it ain't doing its part. You know? And that's what I don't like. And this ticker here shows an update. Let me see this ticker here. Not equal the granular area. All right. Well, we'll see. All right, guys.
So where we starting off?
This week has been okay.
Yeah, it's been some news.
It has been okay. It hasn't been epic.
There was a little showcase though that happened this week, which I
That's
was
what
happy
everybody-
about.
That was on Wednesday.
Oh, that came out of nowhere. Yeah, it was Wednesday. Came out of
I thought
nowhere.
that was planned though. Like I thought they hinted that.
I would pay attention, and nothing was hinted. It literally was said, "Oh, we're gonna do it in like a couple hours." Like, bitch, what?
I know I sent it to you. Like, just so you know, this can be something you know get some news and updates on here. I thought Indieworld was just like a blanketed indie game for systems. I don't know.
It's for Nintendo.
Yeah.
It's a Nintendo only thing. Yeah.
That's good. So we can start off that since we're talking about it. Let me just bring up the images so the viewers know.
Yeah, it was.
What we're talking about here. And let's do. You can talk about it.
But yeah, it was the Indieworld that would happen. That was just announced on Wednesday. It was like I said, came out of nowhere. Wasn't expecting it. And some of the games that they announced I was actually pretty happy about. There were some games that we knew about that came out on other systems, and there were some, exclusive games or first time announced games that I'm like, okay. One of the ones one of the ones I was really excited about, I actually started off with because I love story games. It's called Road 96. It basically, for what it's showing, is that it could go into a bunch of different stories and a bunch of different kind of ways. That there's literally like hundreds of different kind of ways that you can go about this story, and it all takes place on a road trip. You're pretty much a girl that's taken on a road trip, and you meet these people, and you create stories, and depending on your choices that you do and what you say, will alter how the journey is gonna go.
Weird.
It's actually pretty cool for the thing, especially for like a little indie game.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that one. It's gonna come out later this year. They didn't give an exact date, and plus I like the graphics. It's kind of cell shaded kind of graphics, but it looks really cool. And I love story driven games like that.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm excited. I'm sure it's not gonna probably be a long game because it's an indie game,
You think
but
it's gonna be a long game?
I don't think it will, because usually indie games like this are not too long.
Actual?
Yeah, they're usually not a couple hours maybe. But as long as those hours are memorable, and these games are not fully priced. They're usually like 10, 15, 20,
Oh, okay.
$25,
The price is
maybe
right. The experience
$30
is
depending on the
there.
game.
If the experience is there and the price is right, you can't.
Exactly. That's
Especially with that type of detail.
exactly. That's what, like I said, I enjoy it with it. And then there's another game which the style of this game is amazing. It takes place in a futuristic Chicago city, and it's a runner. Do you know what runners are, right? Super Mario Runner,
Oh, yeah.
Super Mario Runner, Rayman Runner. Those type of games. Like, they're automatically scrolls.
You keep going. Yeah.
It's one of those type of games, but this one's like the graphics are kind of like cell shaded. It takes place in a futuristic Chicago, which kind of gives like cyberpunk vibes off it. The game looks awesome. It looks like it will be fun. I'm not sure if it'll be like a full huge title because it doesn't look like it has a lot of stuff. Of course, this is a trailer only, but from what I'm loving about it is the way it looks and the soundtrack. The soundtrack is funky as heck.
I love a good soundtrack though.
Oh, the soundtrack, it's like so
That's where you get the
funky.
soundtrack, and I'm still
It's
rocking
like
in
it has like that thumping bass. It's like has like the rhythms, the electronic things in it. It's fantastic. Like I'm excited.
Switch, they're not gonna be ported to other.
From what I'm told, it's just a Switch for now, but they might be ported to later. There's some other games that were already on other systems that are coming to Switch.
Okay.
But some of these things are like their first time showing.
Nice.
So that who knows, there might be a Switch limited exclusive because Switch does that. That they'll release a game on Switch, like a lot of indie games release on Switch first, then like a couple of weeks or months later.
So like a time exclusive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
That's
what
what they're getting hip to now.
they do. A lot of that on indies.
What's the game that's been delayed until September or October?
Deathloop.
Deathloop.
Yeah. Well, I know that's going to be it's going to be a PS5 exclusive, and then it's going to switch to other systems, I'm sure. And it'll go on that Microsoft because they kind of own this company right now.
Yeah.
So it's like, I can see that. And then there's another story-driven game which I was excited about called Last Stop. It's another one of those like choose your adventure type of games, and the graphics very indie looking. I don't know how to describe it, but it's very indie looking. Like how do I describe it? Because the graphics are not cel shaded. It's not really cartoony. It's kind of. Have you heard of the game Hello Neighbor?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Similar graphic style to that, from what I'm looking at. But the story looks pretty cool though, from what I'm seeing.
Isn't that like a horror type of game?
It's not. It's not really horror. I guess it's like a little mixture of horror with some comedy. Yeah. It's kind of like a hide and seek type of game. Okay. That's pretty much what that is. It's not the best game, but I do love the look of it.
Yeah. Because
it's very different, and I love like different games. And then there's another game. I don't know if you ever heard of the Ollie Ollie series. It's a skateboarding series, little indie skateboarding series. It's been coming up for all the systems, and now they released a new game called Ollie Ollie World, which is mixed skateboarding mixed with side-scroller platforming and like action. Okay. So it's an interesting mix. Switchy. It's actually a very interesting mix, and that's why I'm excited. The one I'm most excited about, honestly, for me, like one of the most I'm excited about, is Crystales.
The hell's that?
It looks like the graphics looks like a freaking Saturday morning.
Bougie Saturday morning. I want my Crystales with my Starbucks medium.
It looks like what I would imagine Cartoon Network would do for a video game, like the graphics wise. It kind of gives me like that Stevie Universe type of graphic wise, which I love. It's a JRPG, has the turn-based system and everything like that. And what's one of the best things about the game? They use time in order to help you with the battles, so you can go forward in time or go back in time. So depending on certain moves.
And Braid.
It kind of is like that.
Next thing you can rewind and everything comes back.
Kind of like that, but this is the first time they're doing it like in an RPG like this.
Okay. So I see mainly in action adventures. Blinks was one of the launch titles for the original Xbox, right?
Yeah, it was a platform game, which I loved.
Braid is a sleeper. That was an indie game.
So such a classic game.
I never beat it, obviously, but it's just unique to play and frustrating.
Well, I think they re-released, or they're going to re-release the game.
I think I played
not too long ago.
Now.
Yeah, because I know it's really good. It's like, but yeah, that game looks awesome, and I can't wait to play that one. I know that's coming out in later in the year. Let me see where exactly. Yeah, it's coming out in July actually.
Oh, this year.
Which I'm excited about. Another little indie RPG, which those usually don't take that long, so I can put that in between my big RPGs I play.
That you have 1 out of 20 you didn't open. What about today? Cyber Frontier came out.
I know, I have to grab that. I haven't grabbed that yet. I have to.
You can get it on your phone, but you wouldn't want to get it on the console.
No, I want to get it on most likely the PS4, if not the Switch. Yeah. I'm deciding on which ones.
For that type of game, to get that retro feel, especially with Cyber Frontier, you probably want to play on the console. It doesn't feel right to play on the phone. Like,
no. Those type of games I will not play on a phone. That's just me personally. I will never do that. Now, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles just came out with a new game that's going to be coming out later this year. It's called Shredder's Revenge. Huh. Remember the Ninja Turtles game on the arcade back in the day? We used to play that?
Yeah, all 4D.
Yeah.
Same.
It has the same kind of style, same kind of battle system, same thing. Like literally, you're playing a Super Nintendo game, but like prettied up a little bit to make it look big. Awesome. But that's pretty cool. So I saw that and it was like nostalgia. I was just like, oh my god! And it looks like it plays exactly like that game. So it looks like it'll be a lot of fun. Has the Ninja Turtles, so you'll be able to play all of them. Like, oh my god, when I saw this, I was like, oh my god, that's gonna bring back like my childhood because I used to play that all the time.
Yeah,
That or the X-Men game, remember that?
Yeah,
The Simpsons.
And Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, we used to play all those things. It's like those 4-player battle, like Streets of Rage type of games. Like if you remember that game back on Sega Genesis, those are the type of games I used to love playing back in the day, especially in the arcades. It was fun playing with people. I used to play with my brother all the time and like friends and all that.
A lot of social activities with other humans without masks. Nowadays.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun, and that's what this one looks like. It's going to be so much fun. I mean,
When's that coming out?
later this year. They didn't give an exact date, but it will be later this year. And then another game which caught my attention because of the way it looks. It's called Aztec Forgotten Gods. It's a game that takes place in like the Aztec type of world. You know the Aztec, like the Incan, the old like, I don't want to say like Mexican, but like, you know, where like the Mexicans come from, like, you know, that old like Mayan Incan type of thing. Mm-hmm. They're doing that mixed with futuristic. So it's a mixture of the two. The graphics, like, I love how it looks. It's very stylized, but I love how they have like all the aspect of the Incan, like all the statues, all like the clothes and everything like that. It stars a character that's an Incan character, which does not happen often. This game is actually being made in Mexico. And it's...
So do they got true origins? Like, did they go back in roots and implement that?
Exactly. With the futuristic thing. Because they kind of mix with the futuristic, too. Yeah. It looks fantastic. That's also coming out later in the year. And then another fun one, which I'm excited about this one because it already come out on Steam already, and I already played it. So I'm excited it's coming out for the Switch.
Really exclusive,
but it's still pretty cool that the Switch is getting it. It's called Skull Hero Slayer. Skull with a S-K-U-L. Just one L. Basically, it's a rogue type of game. Action Metrovania type of game. But you'll be able to change it to 90 different kind of characters and creatures and stuff by switching your head. Because you're a skeleton. You're a skeleton. Yeah. And pretty much you could use your head, move it to other bodies, and control the body. So you'll be able to use all kinds of different kind of moves and stuff like that. It's a ton of fun. Okay. You can be creative because, you know, like I said, you could change to like 90 different kind of things. It's fun. It's not, obviously not a long game. It's a fun game to play. If you really like rogue title type of games, this is a fun one to get. And it's coming out soon, which is actually a good thing. They didn't give an exact date, but it is coming out soon, which I'm excited about. And then they showed a bunch of little titles. Okay. Fez, you remember Fez? Yeah. That game is finally coming out for the Switch. And then one, which kind of threw me off for a loop because I wasn't expecting this. And I was just like, they would have showed a little tiny reel? What happened to, they should have had their own dedicated trailer for it. Yeah. House of the Dead remake. Remember the original House of the Dead? Yeah. I used to play that all the time in the arcade. So it's just like a little quick little thing. I was like, that should have been its own thing. What the heck? I was like...
Did they get the IP from the original studio, or...
No, it's by the same people who did the Panzer Dragoon remake. It's by the same people, which is...
They're trying to get like back in the day type games, arcade
the Sega games, Sega Saturn games. Yeah. So this is getting me excited. Like, okay, maybe this team will keep making these games that, you know, we don't forget about, and you can bring it to us, a more modern remake of it. Yeah. The game looks pretty cool for the quick second I showed. It looks pretty cool, and I'm excited. The only thing I'm worried about, like kind of curious about, is how they're going to handle the light gun. Because, you know, in the game, you shoot like a little light gun. I'm kind of curious how they're going to handle that with the Joy-Cons. It'll feel kind of weird doing it with the Joy-Con, kind of. They might too. But, like I said, that one kind of threw it off the loop, and I was surprised they didn't get a bigger trailer. But that one I was excited about.
Sometimes they see trailers and put it out, and then based on the reaction, do they retract it, or do they just, you know, put it out for mobile or an actual game? Yeah. That's what I'm noticing. Like sometimes they're like, "Hey, look, Never had to tell the next 3 or 4 years."
The funny thing is, with that, like I said, that's why I was thinking it'll have a trailer because Panzer Dragoon, when it first was revealed on E3, it wasn't last year. It was the year before that. It had a trailer. It had like the unveiling. It had all that. So I was like, oh my god, they didn't do that to that. I was like, that's kind of sad.
It's all about the reaction, the struggle. Let's say there's so much demand, and also they can then the crunch time happen and all that. Then it goes downhill.
I'm hoping it's good. I'm hoping it is. Like I said, I don't know 100% because from the little trailer, I'm not sure, but it looks like it will be pretty cool. I'm excited for it. That's also coming out later this year. They didn't give an exact date on that, but it is coming out later this year.
Let me cut you off real quick. I'm just reading the ticker. It's quite hilarious. Leisure Suit Larry, remember that?
Oh, I remember that game.
Wet Dreams Dry Twice, released on Switch in May. On Switch. Since talking about Indieworld, did they pull it off?
They actually did not. I did not know about this, so that's probably one of the ones that...
Well, it's on the Twitter, it's on the ticker, and we're looking at it.
Leisure Suit Larry, that game was crazy.
Game
oh, it
on
is.
Switch. Leisure Suit Larry, Wet Dreams.
Yeah, because the original game came out, I think, on the PC, like in the late 80s or early 90s or something like that. And then, of course, there were some games that came out for the PC. I think PS2, I think, had one, or Xbox had one.
Xbox and PS2.
Oh, it was those systems. They had that. That game was bad. Like I tried it. It's bad. It's bad. Those type of games you don't even play for the game. You play it because you're perverted.
Yeah, perverted and knowing what they get away with, and what they can get away with. You know what I mean?
And then just one last game I want to talk about before I think, because this was a very interesting game, and I believe it's already out on Steam, but it's coming out on Switch. It's called The Longing.
What's it called?
The Longing.
Okay.
Pretty much what this game is, you're a little servant, and you basically have to figure out what to do with yourself. Create do little things around this whole kid because you're waiting for your king to rise up from the dead, to rise up and gain power and all that. But you have to do that. He won't rise up for 400 days.
So for 400 days, what do you do?
400, you do things. It's like, I saw the trailer, like, it looks interesting, like, I was like, what? So you see him doing, like, little errands, doing, like, little things, like, chilling and stuff like that. Yeah. But what's interesting about this is what caught me off guard. 400 actual days. Oh. Not in-game, actual days.
What? That's cool.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's why I was like, honestly, I probably won't play because I don't have the patience for that. So but 400 actual days, and then the king will finally raise up and do whatever. They haven't anything because it's just a trailer, but I was like, interesting. So it's like literally you have to play the game on a row for like over a year.
It's like Pokemon games when they introduced the night and day by real time.
Yeah.
I found that very interesting. Keep it within the realm of real life. You know what I mean? Like keep it like, oh snap, during the day I got these Pokemon to catch, and at night, oh these Pokemon I want to catch. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But with this, days,
I actually like I said, it's actually pretty cool that they're doing that. So, like I said, I probably won't play it, but I'll probably look at gameplay and stuff, just see how it works and try to find out the ending. Like, what do you actually do in this game? Because I'm not 100% exactly what you do in that game. Well, I don't think that's good for your system.
I mean, yeah, like put it on for all day and like for the bulk of the hours, like 12 to 14 hours, and then when you go to sleep, turn it off. Could you beat that and see?
That's where I was like confused. I'm sure there's ways to hack into it. I'm sure. Modding, hacking, or something.
Not even like they'll have like a check-in, so if you try and you didn't do anything, it'll take it off, go back to the main screen.
Could be. Like I said, it was interesting when I heard that, but I was just like, okay, let's be interesting. But yeah, those were like the main titles. Those were not everything because some of the times I was like, who cares about those type of things. Yeah. It's like, but yeah, I was actually kind of happy. Like some games I'm actually really excited about. I can't wait for. And like I said, all these are indie titles, so they're not going to be full price $60 games. Maybe at most they'll probably be like $30, $20, $25. But it was actually pretty cool titles for what I saw. And, I definitely want to check them out.
Yeah, and so those are the ones that are shown on Indieworld. Most of them because they probably showed a lot.
Oh, they did show a lot. I just couldn't. Like, I wasn't going to remember every single one.
Yeah. So, wow. And it was a random ass showcase.
Random. I wasn't expecting it.
That's crazy. All right, let's get into something that I try not to look up and sound like a robot, but we're gonna we're gonna go to what's called, I don't know, a venting moment.
What?
I find it a bit disrespectful.
What?
Okay, I didn't really tell this before our setup.
Of course not.
The reason why I'm gonna say it's disrespectful because it's disrespectful.
What?
And we're gonna,
You're gonna bring it up? Maybe I might know about this.
You do know about it. You do know about it. Everybody knows about it. But the fact that they're gonna showcase it like it's an achievement is disrespectful. And I'm just gonna focus on you and your surprise when I launch that. So go ahead. Take a little peek on the image I just gave you. I'm gonna go and get the report here if I can.
What image?
Do you see it now?
No, I think it's on the display.
Yeah. I'm just waiting. Now the viewers will see it and they'll know how disrespectful it is. Yep. Did you see it?
Yep.
Yep. Cyberpunk 2077 will be successful in announcing their record sales of their game.
As soon as I heard this, I was like, wow. Like, I get it. It's good that
is. They should have no room to even announce their earnings and be positive about it. They should have been crying while talking about it. Okay? Like that.
a lot of people did buy it, but a lot of people did return it. A lot of people did return it.
Do you want to get really into what happened with Cyberpunk?
Oh, we already know what happened.
They banked, okay? They banked on Keanu Reeves, okay? They banked on that with the futuristic looking trailers from a PC.
Yeah.
Knowing that it was going to fail.
I know what you mean. I know.
Then they're going to turn around, do refunds, do everything. Then turn around and go, we made record-breaking sales. We're going to announce record-breaking sales. With confidence?
I know, with all the bugs that the game was having, all the issues people were having with the game, all the refunds that they had to do, I don't even think you could still buy the game online on PlayStation or Xbox still. I'm not even sure if you can. I know it goes on sale all the time. And I know recently they did release a patch. Didn't fix everything, but fixed a lot of things. It was freaking like hundreds of pages of stuff that they fixed, which is crazy. And I know they still haven't fixed everything. They're releasing another patch soon. And like, I get it. They're selling. I get it. But it's just like, you shouldn't be that proud of it.
You shouldn't be that proud. You should not be that proud at all. Let me focus on my anger face.
Especially with the way that the way that you launched the title.
Oh my god. They do this shit. They won't share their full financials until April 22nd. This is courtesy of GameStreet, if I'm saying it correctly. But this hasn't stopped the Cyberpunk and the Witcher developer from sharing a sneak peek of estimated figures ahead of time. So they're estimating the figures. And converted to USD, that's roughly $562.4 million in revenue and $303.6 million in profit for the financial year featuring CD Projekt's controversial launch of Cyberpunk 2077.
And I wonder if they're going to pay their employees right, because remember they had to crunch them during the entire time.
Yep.
So are the people who created the game are going to get paid? Are going to get compensated well? Who knows? Probably not. I mean, I shouldn't say that, but it's like allegedly, I guess I should say.
The official feature. Look, I'm gonna say this. It is very, 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 very disrespectful to even leak out or talk about estimates of your revenue that you've gotten from a game that was a disaster from the start. Just the strength of the launch and the embarrassing video vlogs you had to do, the pending lawsuits your country is having. If they didn't have a patch to fix the entire game, and our estimates are going to be skyrocketing.
I know. It's
the whole month of December to January was all filled with memes of Cyberpunk fails. Like, it's ridiculous. I'm waiting till it's free on PlayStation Network as a downloadable game. I'm not buying that game. I would love to play it, but I'm not going to purchase that game. Not doing it. The fact that it was buggy.
Yeah, the way that they messed that
not
up.
properly
Yeah.
fixed still. And they're going to come up with balls. Just to be like, we got leak estimates, baby. Check this out. We're going to allow everybody to look it up. We're going to release our April 22nd fiscal. I want to know exact figures. I want to know. The numbers they gave was just an estimate, but I want to know. Because that's irresponsible for developers.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It was cool that they apologized, but then when stuff happening, the crunch, the crunch time, the overworking of the employees, to the apologies, to finding out that they misled investors and
Exactly. Yeah.
and like developers, like you misled the public. When we seen the E3 and it looked great, that was on a PS4 and some PC renders. And then a lot of people like, look, it's on a base console. You have to realize that's not being realistic. You can't just sit here and talk about consoles and say, well, it's the old console, so you're not gonna get the best experience. It's not a phone.
You shouldn't have released it on the thing.
Phones. They're not phones. They don't go through firmware, and it's not fragmented. That's the word. Fragmented. Yeah. Android devices are fragmented, and that means if we have Samsung phones, or somebody has an LG phone, another person has HTC phone, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And that an update, Android Popsicle comes out 4.0. I mean, all the things is ice cream.
Yeah, they really do.
So, Android Popsicle 4.9. Samsung devices will get it because it's the higher flagship. HTC will be waiting for weeks, or months. LG might not even get it. That's fragmentation. Games released for a console is not fragmented on all the systems because all the systems have the exact same chipset. Only the Series X, Xbox One X, Xbox Series X, and then their counterparts have different chipsets, and they said so. The PlayStation 4, no. The only difference, they got smaller.
Yeah.
The PlayStation Pro is the only one. Because they had the PlayStation, they had the base, slim, I think another version of the PlayStation 4, something. I think, was it two? It was the base?
I think it was just the base, slim, and then the Pro.
And then the Pro. So, the slim and base, okay? That's the base console. It should work regardless.
It should.
Regardless. Don't tell me when you get the Pro and it works better than the Pro, not the base. You stupid. And look. I'm just, I get mad because like, how can y'all say you got a base console, expect it not to work?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I get what you mean. I get
when it was
it.
promised to be run on the game on PS4. It was not a PS5 game.
No, it was supposed to be on a PS.
PlayStation 4 game.
Yeah.
So with that said, how are we going to sit here and talk about we're comparing specs of how games should run now, which is very, very scary. And, based on how they're working now, it does seem like it's going to get to that point. PlayStation 5 did it smart. PlayStation 5 and with the disc and one without the disc. Same console.
Exactly.
And if a new PlayStation is going to come out, it's not going to be a Slim, it's going to be a Pro. I personally think it's going to be a Pro. If it's a Slim, cool. But it'll be the same.
I think it'll most likely be a Pro.
Because they need to make their money off smaller components. That's why they release the Slims. They're selling more systems, less of cost over time. Now they're hit to what the iPhone has done in the industry. So they're like, all right, let's release this. And then with the Pro, Xbox copied them. Now they got the X, got the S. And that is kind of irritating. But again, you got to realize they're pushing Game Pass. So, in which it will both run properly.
Yeah.
But what do you think about like the false advertisement?
We already know my opinions on that.
How do you personally get irritated?
Yeah, well, the thing is, you already know how I felt about this because I already told you about this, and I already had segments on this that I have told in the past. Not happy at all. It was announced back in 2016, and they said that they were already starting making it.
Which I didn't even.
They
Not when they talk about it. So
no, that wasn't 2016. It was like 2014, I believe. They didn't start doing anything with the game until 2016, and then when they released the game, they did find on the PC like there's not much issues going on the PC, but with the console versions, that's when they had issue with, especially the PS4, which originally was supposed to be on that system. And then you decided to make your game not work properly on that system. Kind of shady, in my opinion, for what I'm thinking.
Then move forward.
Very shady. Exactly. Shady. It's just like, yes, the game was supposed to come out like April of last year, if I remember correctly. Then it got delayed. Then it finally came out in December. And then thinking when you got delayed, you was going to, make the game better. You was going to work out the bugs and that thing. Especially since you did put your people that was working under you in overtime work and everything like that. Yeah, and you still didn't come out with a game that was working properly on the systems. That is an issue, and that's what people are getting pissed off about.
Well, we pissed off, but some people pay and then they call it bad.
Well, the thing is, the PC version works. For the most part. It has some bugs and all that. Yep. It's the console versions that are just like dead, are like dying. They finally get patches to fix most of the issues, but they haven't fixed everything yet. And I'm assuming like the new patch is going to come out, it's going to fix some more things. And I'm assuming within a year, maybe by the end of this year, maybe by early next year, they'll finally have enough patches to fix all the issues. Who knows? But that, in my opinion, that's a problem. You shouldn't be releasing a game that's so buggy. Like, Bethesda is known for having really buggy games, like especially the Fallout series and the Skyrim series and the Elder Scrolls series. Lots and lots of bugs, but they've never been this bad. Like, this is like, it was a whole new level of bad. Like, the bugs was a whole new level.
It was funny.
Oh yeah, like some of the videos I was watching like YouTube people who was like playing the game and doing the whole aspect of playing the game and showing all the bugs and stuff like that. It was some hilarious stuff that was going on. Some like very scary, creepy stuff because it's like some of the things weren't working. Some of the stuff, some of the characters looked like they were from the PS1 era.
The renders were terrible.
It was bad.
It was bad.
It was.
I just don't like the fact that they went ahead and apologized, but at the same time purposely put it out there because they didn't want to risk their popping buzz. And they got Keanu Reeves in there. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't like it. So we're gonna take an image off. So disrespectful. Again, I'm not gonna pay for that game. Not doing it. Not gonna happen.
I'll probably eventually get it, but only when it's like really on sale or something.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay. Let's talk about this.
Talk about what?
This is another big topic that we're going to talk about. And when we talk about, we are going to talk about Epic. EGS or EPS. I don't know what variation that is. Tim Sweeney, the CEO of Tim Sweeney, stated. Let me bring up the report. Let me entertain the folks real quick. Let me go ahead.
Well, yeah, because I have the number. If you were looking for the number.
Hit it. Show me. Hit it.
So they are set to lose $330 million.
How much?
$330 million. But Tim is not worried about it. He thinks this is a good thing. He thinks it's fantastic.
You know what? I feel him though.
I get it.
I feel him because he's banking on what do you call it? I'm trying to put it.
Exclusives.
Yeah.
He's banking on the exclusives. He's banking on the games that they get free on the Epic. He paid pretty much $444 million to get the exclusives and the free games for the store to get people to come in.
This came out during the Apple documents that have been shown and it has been leaked.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, and he's chilling about it.
Yeah, he didn't. They didn't let this go like
No,
willingly. It came out
willingly.
because of the whole Apple Epic lawsuit that's happening.
Yeah, so let me read this.
And of course, he tweeted,
Yeah.
which was a very weird tweet that he did because the tweet that he showed some statistics, but none of the statistics were making sense or anything that had to do with what was happening, which was like funny to me. And you saw a tweet?
Yeah, no, refresh my memory. I've probably seen it.
I don't remember like the exact like tweet, but it was like a graphs. They were showing graphs and stuff, and it was just showing like very nonsensical stuff. They were showing there, it was making it like they were doing amazing. That why losing so much money is actually a benefit for them.
And it's hard to explain, but it does seem like it could work, but it is a big gamble. But they do make a lot of money, only because it's not just Fortnite. Don't think Epic is just Fortnite. They make and bank on the Unreal Engine. All developers in Apple, not all of them, most of them utilize Unreal, including the major players in the game as far as video games are concerned, use Unreal. So they use that engine, they make 15% off of that, off the strength of that. And let me give you an example of one of their bets that they had, based courtesy of Ars Technica. Those kinds of deals can be quite expensive for Epic. Control publisher 505 Games reportedly got over $10 million in guaranteed upfront payments from Epic for that game's EGS exclusivity.
Exactly. Yeah.
EGS,
They were able
Epic
to.
Games
They were
Store.
able to pay for the developers up front instead of because usually developers get paid if the game sells well and all that stuff. They were paying these people up front, but basically in order for them to get those upfront fees, that they have to release it just on the Epic
Just
store.
for them, so they can get all the digital content, the buzz, and all that stuff.
Exactly.
And then from there, they make a percentage off the copies. So basically, using EGS as a front to make all that money. Let's see. I got another report for you here. The control of the advance, which would roughly be 200,000 sales at full price. So, and you, not being rude here, but you did cut off the quote I was trying to.
Oh, sorry.
The game, like Control, can cover the advance, which would take roughly 200,000 sales at full price. Plenty of lesser-known exclusives probably fail to earn back their generous guarantees. So when you give that upfront money, you want to make that money within a certain time frame you agreed on. Epic also said last year that EGS users claimed over 749 million copies of free games in 2020. Those games would be worth billions of dollars if sold normally, even at reduced prices. Though Epic likely paid much less than that to secure the free they get away with. So the way they're banking on it works, and they just locked down a $200 million investment from Sony. And out of that, Aloy from Horizon is now a featured character in Fortnite. That's hilarious. So it's like getting the buzz and who's that character? Oh, from this. Oh, I want to get this. It's like a whole,
Yes.
Cross, what you call it? Like cross promotion.
So yeah, I get
Some
that.
don't make sense though.
Yeah, because right now it's been kind of projected that by the end of this year they're going to be losing about $600 million by the end of this year. And from plans, Epic is saying they'll be profitable by 2023.
The store.
The Epic Store. They said they'll be profitable by 2023. But experts are saying that it's going to be much longer than that. They're probably
Who's the
not.
experts?
Well, some financial experts and things like
Who's
that.
one of them?
Who?
Apple, because they came out in the court filings. In 2027, they said that
They
don't
said,
think it's
yeah.
coming out. They don't think they're that. Come on, don't hate.
It's not just the Apple.
Not
It's like
you,
others.
like, like when they said that.
They said that they won't be profitable until 2027.
No, that's Apple talking shit. You don't even want to hear that. They already getting sued. They probably got experts to see it through, but they don't know the betting game. Because what if Epic bets and it becomes more popular than what it is now, and the store is popping now because it's competing with.
It's
Steam.
not as popular. Steam is still ruling it. It's still ruling it. And let's be real. I don't think Epic, unless they have some really outstanding exclusive games,
They have to.
I don't see them steamrolling Steam. I don't see it at all.
And I don't think they're going to take over Steam, but I will think that maybe they could be a strong contender.
Because Steam is huge.
Steam
It has
but
so much
they're
things.
in the competition. They're huge.
Well, they've been in the game for a while.
I'll read this quote here. Same site based on End quote. There are two ways to bring users into something. And this is from Epic Games co-founder and CEO Tim Sweeney. You could run Google and Facebook ads and pay massive amounts of money to them, but we can actually find it more economical to pay developers a lump sum, which is the exclusive guarantees, to distribute their game free for 2 weeks. We can actually bring in more users at lower cost by doing all these great things for great people rather than paying Google and Facebook. Makes sense. Because you know how much advertising dollars you're going to give it to those two big wigs.
Exactly. That's true.
You really don't. So you're banking on how popular this game is, and if they want to take a pie with Epic, they'll pay them, and then they reap the benefits from getting it sold at that store. End quote. That effort is starting to work. Last June, Sweeney told PC Gamer that EGS had about 15% of the PC gaming market. That's not great, but it's not bad considering the near monopoly power Steam has in PC gaming.
Well, yeah. Like I know pretty much everyone I know has a Steam account.
Yeah. And Epic also says over 31 million people use the Epic Game Store daily by the end of 2020. That's lower than the 62.6 million daily users claimed by Steam, but it's not a bad foothold for a store that launched just a little over 2 years.
Yeah, like it's
so
gonna
it's grown almost, I would say, almost half of what Steam has currently.
But it needs to. They need to release something exclusive, like very like epic. Like Fortnite is amazing.
Epic, no pun intended.
Yeah, but Fortnite is great. Like everyone loves that game, and it's pretty much on every system, no matter what. Think of a system, it's probably on it. But they need something more. They need a couple of more things. Because if not, then I don't know. Is Epic going to be known as the Fortnite thing? The ones making Fortnite? That's it?
Yeah, that's the one thing.
We don't need a one-hit wonder here.
And so how, because it came out from the Apple court dates, if those that you don't know, their official court date will be in May, and Epic versus Apple. It's going to be hashtags everywhere.
We'll definitely be talking about that when that comes out.
If you follow our Anchor, our audio podcast, which we had, we still have, but mainly we did our live stream now. We broke down Epic versus Apple, the way it started, how's it going, Judge Yvonne Gonzalez and what she's ruling on, and it got intense. Fortnite, Apple tried to nuke them and everything else they pretty much owned.
Exactly.
And Yvonne was like, "Nope, Judge Gonzalez, let's be proper." She said, "No, Apple, you're not going to get rid of everybody that has the Unreal Engine, but we're going to go ahead and stop the downloads of Fortnite, which you still can get Fortnite to this day on the iPad." So with that said, they've been going back and forth, documents, who won that? Apple won, I wouldn't say it's an injunction, but they won a move to allow Valve to show their previous 500 list of games and their agreements.
Yeah.
From 2019, no, I think it was like from 2017, 2016. So they won a backlog that they can use against Epic. That Valve's been doing the same thing.
Yeah,
so
that would.
Getting attacked. That Valve's been doing it. So if I'm about to get reamed on, shouldn't Valve get reamed on? They've been doing it for years. That's what Apple's trying to do.
Yeah, I know. I saw that.
Then EGS and what they've been doing. So now, what I think is, once the report came out, Apple's going to use that, but you mad because you trying to get more money out of me by you violating, thinking that I'm big wig, but you because you're losing money. So are you really banking on my marketplace so you could recoup your losses from the games you've been making? That's what I think they're trying to get at, like building a case to where it's kind of black and white.
Yeah.
Epic violated, and Apple has a stronghold.
Yeah, pretty much. Exactly.
Can we meet in the middle? They're not going to sell out, and if they do, what are the terms? Oh man, it's nuts. And the way they did it though, they did the trailer. They got everybody that had devices on the trailer.
That was crazy.
They did it so great. I'll give them that. Shout out to Epic Games for that. They were really gonna hold that. That was fun. But we're gonna be all on it, and it's not gonna be something public, but I'm gonna try to be on it as best I can. Follow me on Twitter, you're gonna see it. I'm gonna be venting on it because I'm not gonna lie to you. Apple needs to be fair. Doesn't seem like they're fair. They need to be more open.
Mm-hmm.
But Epic, violate, yo. They violated.
Yeah.
They violated.
Huge
And
violation.
they did it, and the risk was, point at me, no, you're the one that did it, you're bad. You know, so it's like, I don't know. That is something to look forward to when it comes to that. May. Let me see here. Wait a minute, I'm bringing up something real quick here.
Why don't we do what was released yesterday? The news that was released yesterday. So I could talk about something now.
Yes, because I downloaded the demo. And that's a new level, and I guess they're releasing more things until May 2nd that's going to come out?
Yeah, I'll explain all that.
Resident Evil.
So Resident Evil Capcom had a little showcase yesterday. It was about 20 minutes, and they actually showed some new things and announced some new things. So I'm going to go over what was announced because I'm excited about this because Resident Evil is one of my favorite series. Yeah. Resident Evil is one of my favorite series growing up, starting with the first one. My dad was the one who showed me these games, so it was the horror game for the PS1. And then, of course, Resident Evil 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 on VR. That's freaking crazy.
Yeah, no.
And then 8. So 8 looks amazing. So pretty much what they showed is they showed a new trailer, which looks amazing. Like, I'm excited. Like, some of the trailers I didn't notice from before, but I noticed in this one. Apparently, this game's going to have, of course, it looks like vampires, but it's also going to have lycans, which is like werewolves. Think of the Underworld. Remember the Underworld movie series? Like werewolves type of things. That's what it looks like. So it's like a mix of like zombies and like werewolves and like vampires and stuff, and it looks fantastic. And of course, Lady, I'm probably going to pronounce her name so wrong, Desescu or something like that. She's like one of the main people everyone loves. Like, I freaking love her. She looks amazing. Like I'm excited about that. They showed her, of course, in the trailer. They showed some more game plots on the trailer. And of course, at the end, my favorite character in the series, Chris, they showed him at the end, which is actually pretty cool. Chris Redfield, like one of my favorite characters of the whole series. And it's like, the trailer looks amazing. I can't wait. And then they're also going to be releasing another demo because they released a demo a couple of weeks ago, and now they're releasing another demo. PlayStation owners, 4 and 5, are going to be able to have access to the demo early. And started last night, you was able to download the demo for the 17th. Because on the 17th, you're able to play, I believe, the village. And then on the 24th, you're able to play the castle. Which they'll give you, I believe it's a 30-minute demo, I believe, for each. And then you'll be able to play each of those. And from what I'm seeing, it looks fantastic. I already have mine pre-downloaded. I'm definitely going to be playing that sometime, either tomorrow or Sunday. I'll probably play it sometime.
Yeah, I have it downloaded already.
Like, I'm excited for it. Like, I can't wait for it because, like I said, I'm a huge Resident Evil fan. And for one of the trailers are showing, it looks great. I'm definitely be getting this game day one. So those are some of the things. And, of course, everyone else, like PC and Xbox, will have their demo on the 1st, which will be an hour-only demo. You know how some games have, you only can play an hour of the game and then it automatically stops? Yep. They're doing that for everyone else May 1st. And, of course, the game comes out May 7th.
Okay.
So they'll be able to do that. So pretty much PlayStation owners gets the first hands on it, which I'm excited. First dibs on it, which I'm excited about. So that is one of the for Resident Evil. They also announced another one, which I think you might actually like a lot. Like, Killerus, you might actually like this one a lot. It's called Mercenaries.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And from what I'm seeing, the trails and everything, it pretty much, like, don't get me wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, it kind of looks like Call of Duty type of thing. Like, the way, like, the fastest.
Yeah, I gotta try it.
Because it's supposed to be fast-paced, action-based. You could customize your weapons. You could customize, like, the type of, like, power it has and stuff like that. Yep. You could customize the power you have, like, to have a defense that, like, ups your defense, ups your weapon powers, and then ups your speed, so you'll be able to run faster. Then you can have like stronger bullets for the enemies, and you can also have a better defense, which makes you like stronger defense-wise.
Yeah.
So it seems like, I don't know, like I said, I don't know too much about that, but it's like you get to customize your weapons, you get to play against a bunch of people and stuff like that. They had this in other Resident Evil games, but they made it like a lot better in this one because they knew that it was popular in the other one. So I was like, okay, let's bring it out for this one too. It's just a side one. You still be able to have the full one-player experience, but it's good to have that too for the people who like the multiplayer, which is actually pretty cool that they're having that. One of the things I was seeing like on the trailer, like I'm excited for this, and I love the characters. I'm hoping like eventually maybe they have like a VR version of this game, or even like a VR version of it. That would be amazing.
VR when it came to the was it Biohazard? Was it?
Oh, you mean Resident Evil 7?
Yeah.
It's scary. It is. But yeah, I don't know if you guys knew about this too, but the reason, this is such a big news and everything, this year marks the 25th anniversary of the Resident Evil series. It was actually March 22nd. That's when the first game of the Resident Evil series was released. So now they're releasing, the big one on the 25th anniversary, which is actually pretty cool, which I'm excited about. And then you also will be getting what they called Resident Evil Reverse, which is like a online like shooter type of game using all the Resident Evil characters like Claire, Leon, and all that. All that will be in there too. It's going to be a free download to have. If you buy Village, you will get that for free, which is actually pretty cool. Now, another thing that they announced, and they actually showed a new trailer, is for the new Resident Evil Infinite. There's a new Resident Evil series, which
it's a Resident Evil series.
Yeah, it's a new Resident Evil called Infinite. I think like Stories or something like that. But it looks fantastic. It's going to be like a 3D anime. It's going to be exclusive on Netflix. It's an actual series, which means they'll be able to flesh out the story more. It takes place 2 years after Resident Evil 4. From the trailer, it shows Claire and Leon. And it looks like Leon is kind of like a bodyguard for the president. And then, of course, a huge zombie attack happens. And then they, from there, they have to, save the president. I'm sure save the other people. And try to take down the zombie attack again. Because he's been in so much games. Like, he was in 4, he was in 2. And Claire, which was pretty cool that she was in this too. So I'm excited for this one. It looks pretty awesome. And it's going to be coming out in July this year.
Oh, wow.
So I'm excited.
So that's at least something to watch.
And then another thing that was announced, they didn't show any trailers for it because they just got done with this. They just finished filming the remake of the original Resident Evil, where they're going to make it more towards the game instead of more action-oriented like the Mila Jovovich game movies. Okay. They're going to make it more towards like how it is in the game. They just got done doing the filming. Now they're doing all the CGI of all like the creatures and stuff like that to the game. So that's some good sign. That means we might be getting the movie, probably not this year.
Movie straight from the games.
From the game. That's what I'm excited about. And that's probably not going to be coming out until, they didn't say a date, but I'm assuming if they're still doing CGI and all that type of stuff, probably next year, I'm assuming. Yeah. It won't be this year, definitely. No, it won't be this year.
I look forward to that.
But the TV show is coming out this year, which I'm excited about. I'll definitely be binge watching that when that comes out. And then another little thing they showed was Dead by Daylight, another huge like horror game. Very fun online horror game that pretty much is like the survivors, and then and there's one guy who's like kills everyone. So pretty much like one like, let's say Jason, like for example, and then everyone's like running away. You have to try to defeat them or get away from him before he kills you. Okay. They're having a Resident Evil chapter added to it, which is actually pretty cool. They had Silent Hill before, so now they're having this, which is pretty cool that they're having this.
That's cool.
Won't be coming out till next year.
Yeah.
But it's okay. I'm actually pretty happy.
But it's okay, guys.
Is that, is it no, I think it's either this year or next year. They didn't say the exact date, but it's actually pretty cool that they have. And now, one thing that they didn't show on the thing, but they showed like on Twitter, was that Resident Evil 4 is going to be on the Quest 2. On the Oculus Quest 2.
Really?
So you get to have VR playing the original Resident Evil 4 game. They're going to have more details on that.
That's so
I know.
That's so
I know.
I mean, it's great, but terrible.
I know. They didn't give much details on the game yet because they're going to be releasing more details on the 21st. That's what I already said. But Resident Evil 4 on the VR, like there's some parts in that game that's like still scare the crap out of me. Like imagine that first person VR. Oh my god! Especially the chainsaw. Oh my god!
Yeah,
The chainsaw dude. Oh, that's gonna freak me out. But honestly, I'm gonna get it though.
By the experience, but then like, would I be able to sleep at night?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like how are they gonna do this and how are they gonna make it like I'm excited for it, but like I said, we don't know too much details because they haven't announced all the details yet. They will on the 21st, but I'll definitely be paying attention to that because I'm really curious because I have the Quest 2, so I'm gonna be very, very curious.
When you get it, bring it over.
I definitely have to try that. Cause,
Let the kids play.
oh, don't! I can't do that. No, oh no.
No.
They'll freaking.
Bad parenting.
Yeah, I was about to say they'll have nightmares for like years.
Absolutely.
You can't do that to them.
One of my kids already sleepwalks like a zombie. I don't think I want him to think he's not having that.
But yeah, so far this year it seems like it's a really good year for Resident Evil, and I'm personally excited. Like I have a TV show to watch, which is going to be awesome, and of course I have the huge game to play, which I'm hoping it gives me a nice little scare. It probably will. It's Resident Evil, but
Just doing tacos.
I'm excited, and like I can't wait. It needs to come out already, but it's only like 2 weeks away, so I'm excited, and I get to play the
It's
demo.
right around the corner.
And I get to play the demo to try to wet my beak until I could get access to the full game.
Here's a I guess a good segue that we will talk about is Netflix in their partnership with Sony. Why I said segue is because Resident Evil is going to be.
It's gonna be a Netflix exclusive. Yep.
So with Netflix, they double down on the actual Sony rights. So any movies that come out will be on Netflix as a partnership.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
You guys don't realize that they have Spider-Man. So
That's gonna be on Netflix.
That's gonna be crazy.
I
So now you're
know.
like, oh, a Spider-Man, will it be on Disney Plus or will it be on Netflix?
Well, I have both, thank God, so I'll be able to see both.
I personally think they're going to be on both. That's what I think, because I don't think
Yeah.
it could be on that contract. It could be.
Well, the thing is, I think Disney is borrowing the rights for Spider-Man right now.
Borrowing.
Yeah, because they're putting it into the the Marvel universe, and that's why Peter Parker is currently in the Marvel universe. But I think they're making one more movie, and I'm not sure if they're going to be making any more. I'm not sure. I have to double check on that. But
Sony played it well.
they made sure to keep it. They just borrowed it. They're letting Disney rent it for a bit. Renting. Like Blockbuster, like they're a Blockbuster or like a Hollywood Video or something like that. They're like that. Yeah, it's kind of funny they do it. I mean, they're smart that they're doing that because they know Disney is a huge conglomerate and they know they want Spider-Man. Oh, they did. No, you could buy. Remember the time they were going to get rid of it, but then they came up with an agreement finally, like, okay, you could borrow him for the other 2 movies, but then you're done.
And that could be it. This could be the partnership.
It could be because I know there's one last one.
That's the main one that obviously will throw an average consumer that doesn't really follow games out of whack because they love Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And they're gonna look at Disney Plus and go, "Where's the Spider-Man? Because it's Disney. It's part of Marvel. Well, Sony owns the rest of Spider-Man. So
yeah, and they're not gonna easily give that up. That's for damn sure.
To Disney? No.
They know their money. They know what's worth.
Yeah, they know. And then Venom, which would tie into the Marvel universe, but it's still Sony's IP.
It is.
Now, besides Spider-Man, again, because that attracts most of the average consumers, you gotta understand, Last of Us, okay, Uncharted.
Well, the thing is, Last of Us is already coming on HBO Max, I believe, the TV show.
I think it might be the rights. But now, what's happening now then?
I don't know. You're right, though. I was thinking about that too with Sony, who knows? Anything that has to
Because
come with
HBO,
like.
they gotta have a cut. Maybe not really because Sony, it's under Sony, right? Like, or is it?
Well, The Last of Us is on the Sony.
Yes, I'm talking about the.
Well, the
production.
Sony company, but I don't know about the production. I'm not sure.
That is something to look up, which I will now.
Yeah, because it's like I'm not sure if that's the case. I know Sony is part of it, and obviously Naughty Dog is going to be part of it too. But I'm not sure if Sony Pictures owns, because it's a TV show, it's not a movie.
Yeah.
And I don't think Sony does TV shows, do they?
But it is rights on the Sony. It's a PlayStation.
Yeah, that's true. Because I know Sony owns Naughty Dog. I know that. That's one of their first-party developers.
Massive reduction. Quote, a very exciting announcement. Basically, television production. Trying to get exactly. No, I don't know. You might be right. That could just say come nothing to do with like, you know.
Our cousin Florcita is.
Yeah.
You see that, right? She's been commenting.
I don't know if you're coming back, but shout out to Flossie, that's my.
I just saw that just now. That's why.
Yeah, so it's a show. So I think as far as a show, Sony doesn't have the rights like that, but it is IP from Sony.
Yeah.
So make an agreement with Netflix, and if it doesn't what you call it, how do I say this? If it doesn't fit well with HBO, what do you think would go to Netflix?
Possibly.
It's
Netflix usually grabs things that other TV companies don't want. Like Lucifer is an example of that one. That was a show that was on Fox. Fox canceled it, and they were like, Netflix was like, you know what? People are asking for this. It's coming to our network now. So it does that a lot.
So Uncharted, though, that's one IP that's going to be in Netflix, I assume, based on Sony, right?
Could be.
Could be. I think it is.
Yeah, that's so it's possible. The movie, I know, because I know they're making the Uncharted movie with Tom Holland.
Yeah.
Which I'm excited about.
It's going. I think it's going to Netflix. Right? Shouldn't be any question because this is a Sony Netflix agreement. So this is not just one movie or a settlement of another way to watch Spider-Man. No, this is something there's gonna be something to look out for. Ratchet and Clank.
They already made a movie that didn't do that well, but let's see. Maybe they could do a TV show of Ratchet and Clank.
That would be awesome as well.
I would watch the hell out of that because I love Ratchet and Clank. I would watch the hell out of that.
You have what other IP? They could make one for Horizon, which that would be nice.
That would be interesting. A movie or a TV show? I don't know. What do you think would work?
Doesn't matter. That would look good. Not live action. Keep it CG. I like that.
You like the CG? You wouldn't want live action? No. I mean, it depends. Because I know the game has a lot of cybernetic creatures and all that. That'd be kind of hard to do that in live action. So I don't know. It'd be a lot of CG.
Oh, in live action, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be kind of hard to do that. It'd be kind of hard.
Live action, no live action with that. That doesn't make no sense. It doesn't. What other IPs do they have? What do you think? You know what threw me off?
What?
I'm thinking about it? Tom Clancy. They're having a movie on April 30th featuring Michael J. Jordan, I think his name is.
Oh,
Tom Clancy's.
Yeah.
I forgot what the actual name, but that's Tom Clancy. I always think PlayStation when I see that name. And then obviously it went on GameCube, went on,
Yeah, exactly.
If that's successful, what would be the possibility of a movie of Splinter Cell?
We have to see because remember they haven't touched Splinter Cell in a while. They're having an animated thing of Splinter Cell, which I did discuss in a previous episode in Anchor. I believe that's coming out later this year. And I think that's a Netflix exclusive too, if I remember correctly.
But yeah, it's not a Sony product, but they borrowed the rights with Tom Clancy. But they had a very special relationship when it came to it, though. You know?
Yeah, which I personally would love it, but I don't even hope for it anymore because I get disappointed every time. It's like one of my favorite stealth action games that I played.
And now look.
Like,
but I don't want to be 40 with. There it goes.
oh, I'm already getting close to that damn age.
Yeah, don't say that. You don't go to that. But yeah, anything other than Crash Bandicoot sitcom?
A little. I would love that. I would watch that.
Something to make it worthwhile for Sony and Netflix to partner. So that's something to look forward to because we didn't expect that, but knowing that they're going to be crossing and exclusive rights, they're going to be competing with Disney. Mm-hmm. Now they have competition. Now here's the first video I put on our TikTok, and if you guys make sure to follow our TikTok.
Oh yeah, this little rumor.
Every day, we go about videos. We're going to be doing 1 or 2 videos a day. We're going to try to do 1 or 2 videos a day on TikTok.
Good try, yeah.
It's breaking, and like it was just flat out news, and we're going to converse and speak on it, or just do some dumb, stupid stuff with gaming in mind, or gaming knowledge and all that stuff. But today, we're going to go about, let's see if this image is going to come up correctly and not huge.
Yeah, because this one's an interesting one. I got some opinions on this one too.
I think was it 2 episodes ago in our live stream? Episode, what's it?
We were discussing
what I really would love Sony to do.
But
and this had me at goose.
So pretty much
I was like, oh wait a minute.
These were just rumors. And then it was announced today on what happened.
Don't be a killer.
Okay.
Don't be a killer.
Okay, sorry.
All right, let me talk about this.
Okay, sorry.
Let me get it in. All right?
Sorry.
Sit here
sorry.
Go, well, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
Okay, whatever. Go ahead. I have my opinion. I have my opinion on it. Go ahead.
Of course you have an opinion on it. I want it to happen. I want this to happen. But by the right people. I don't want it to be from the wrong people. I think it's just if one company buys them. There was a rumor by reporting to Japan, and I'm trying to get the report here, and I don't seem to find it. I know you have it in your little notes.
I do.
I'm going to bring it here. Square Enix was going to be purchased out, a takeover or which the rumors were shot dead.
Yep, today was shot dead.
It was the same day, so it's not like
it just like.
But when I first read it, I was like,
who is doing it?
Again, I'm gonna say it again. My thing is, I want them to be a surprise buyout by Sony and have a trailer of. I have this in my mind. And then, as soon as the Final Fantasy, the Arsenal play, theme, soundtrack come down, you see the highway come down, they all run up, and they see Ultimate Weapon in the far corner, fighting Ultimate Weapon as the 2 or 3 minute trailer, that song going in, and then announces the partnership. That'll be the punch 1-2 to Microsoft. But that makes sense, because Squaresoft and all Final Fantasy was always on Sony. On Japanese, they did have. It was on. What was it on?
Super Nintendo. They had a lot. Basically, how it was so Nintendo had was originally working with Squaresoft. Yeah. They made the original Final Fantasy 1, 2, and 3 in America. Of course, there's other ones that came out in Japan, and then we eventually got them. But we'll say 1, 2, and 3 in America. And then they also had the Super Mario RPG, and they had some Secret of Mana, and all that type of stuff. They were focusing. Was it Secret of Mana or Legend of Mana? The one that came up with Super Nintendo. Yeah. And then, of course, they had Chrono Trigger and all that. Yeah. So they were focusing all on Super Nintendo. Now, Squaresoft at the time wanted to make Final Fantasy VII, which was originally, if people didn't know this, Final Fantasy VII was originally supposed to come out in 64. Yep. But it wasn't powerful enough to do what they wanted to do. Yes, so pretty much, let's just say Square Enix and Nintendo couldn't come to an agreement, had some bad Bad Blood there, and then they took their titles and none came out on any of the Nintendo stuff for a while, and that's why it got the huge boost on the PlayStation, and that's how we got Final Fantasy VII looking the way it did.
And 3 discs, by the way, Final Fantasy VII.
Exactly, because it couldn't fit in a cartridge. Remember, the Nintendo 64 was all cartridges. Yeah. They were still working on cartridges. There was no disc at the time. PlayStation, Saturn, all had discs, but Nintendo still kept with the cartridges.
So that is behind the history to justify why I don't like the buyout from Sony. Whatever I personally think we have attention. I think we have some.
No, like honestly, I think it would be pretty cool that they do that. Like, cause Sony having that would be pretty awesome.
Awesome?
It would be really awesome.
Pretty awesome.
It would be really awesome.
What? No, not every Japanese game, but every like Square game, SquareSoft, and it's Enix.
Now, did you hear the rumors on who was planning on doing the buying and stuff?
Three investment groups. Like, if you have it written down, cool.
I think I do.
The article here.
Well, I know Microsoft was one.
Microsoft tried. The offer was too low. You did right. It was too low.
But the thing is, it's going to be hard for Microsoft to handle that, to do that, because of a Japanese law that they have. Because, as you know, Microsoft is an American company.
Absolutely.
And Sony's Square Enix is a Japanese company. Yep. If I remember correctly, the ruling
is Enix an American company.
Yes, but this
SquareSoft
is
what.
Well, let me just finish this, and then because I have there's a thing for that I'm going to explain. So pretty much, there's a rule that an American company can't really buy a Japanese company unless they have to go through some major hurdles. Because it's kind of like a monopoly type of thing. And Japan doesn't like that.
You know what? That's good.
So that's why. Now, the issue with Sony possibly buying thing might be a money issue. Because Sony tried doing it before. They couldn't afford it.
To buy them?
Yeah.
For how much?
I forgot the amount. But they couldn't afford to buy it.
And it was Sony that tried to buy them?
It was a while ago.
By SquareSoft?
I think it was still Square Enix by the time. I think they just turned SquareSoft. I think it was SquareSoft.
Yeah, I don't remember that. Yeah, I remember the Microsoft in 1999.
Yeah, they couldn't do that, but remember, back in the early 2000s, they got they got Enix.
Yeah,
and all their games. Yeah, so maybe it's a possibility that maybe they might sell off some of the Enix side of the stuff to other companies. They mentioned that they're not going to do that, but let's be real. That's probably going to happen because Enix side of the thing, I don't think they sell that well.
I don't think so either. That's what I was saying. Like Enix, their lineup seems solid.
Well, they have Tomb Raider. They have Tomb Raider. They have Just Cause. They have Deus Ex, Hitman. But they're not the biggest sellers.
Square Enix, Final Fantasy catalog.
They're known for those type of things, but that's why even though they said they made a statement just to clear the rumors that they are not going to sell the company or have anyone buying them, interested offers or anything like that, or splitting off anything. The funny thing is they had to say the splitting off thing. That kind of what made me like second guess it, like, what? Yeah. Why you have to say that too?
Why? Hey, what are you doing?
Like, why are you saying that too? Like, what's happening? But honestly, like, I understand, like, people don't like the whole exclusive thing. You know, the more people play the games, the better. I understand that. But when Microsoft starts buying, like, you know, Bethesda and all that thing, that got thrown out the window right away. So I want something that Sony will have that's popular. I know you discussed it before. Having Square Enix as a first-party exclusive would be pretty cool, honestly.
What, to have a Final Fantasy?
Sony, if Sony has Square Enix.
I hope so. I still do. I still hope.
Because honestly, because before I was like, you know, exclusives are great and all that, but it's not the biggest thing. But then Microsoft decided to buy Bethesda, and then that thought process went out the window because it's like, now okay, so they want to play that kind of game, okay.
But if you think about it, Bethesda does fit the Microsoft. You know, I
It kind of does. I can see those type of games being on
I
Xbox.
don't see it on the PlayStation. Just like if I see any Final Fantasy game, any anime game, Sony.
It's a Sony system, yeah. Well, Switch has been releasing those type of games too.
I was surprised
But...
Lost Odyssey was on the Xbox 360 when it came out.
Well, yeah, but 360 is the only system I bought for the Xbox because I play a lot of JRPGs and platformers. 360 actually had a ton of those. Tales of Vesperia, Eterna Sonata, Lost Odyssey, Blue Dragon. They had all those games.
Because of Sony's misstep on the PlayStation 3.
Yeah, because they missed that bad on the thing. And they actually had some games, but then Xbox One came out, and didn't have any of those type of games.
I don't know what happened.
They had all these. They have all these action, Gears of War, Halo, Forza, all those type of games, but nothing that I want to play or a lot of like Japanese players want to play. Because let's be real, I know what I'm into.
Microsoft, they see that as a niche market, so they didn't really care.
They don't.
Get market share Japan for an American system, so they should have gained more partnerships. But maybe they see PlayStation 4 doing this thing, and they said, all right, let's just ship off. It was easy that way.
Yeah,
Something
exactly.
happened because I remember Xbox 360 had a heavy amount of Japanese anime type games.
Exactly. Remember Argus War? You bought that for me. I remember that. They had those type of games. PlayStation did not have those type of games at that time. Well, they did, but not as much. But it was crazy that Xbox was releasing those, and they were exclusive on the Xbox too, which was crazy.
Yeah, so it's like, wait a minute, I can't get this on the PlayStation? And because again, it was like, the cell processor of the PlayStation 3 was so unique and so hard to make.
It was hard for developers to make it.
It was easier to go through the old architecture through the Xbox 360 because it was just what they were used to.
Yeah,
it was
exactly.
Sony's mistake for the PlayStation 3 that tipped the scales, and I had an Xbox when it first came out, so I'm not gonna sit here and be a fanboy for Sony. I've had the Xbox, and Xbox was the first ever Xbox Live multiplayer experience.
Yeah, we had Xbox One. I played it too because they had a lot of platform. That's what I meant to say. The original Xbox. I played a lot of games on that. They had a lot of platformers on that game. Blinks, one of my favorite games. I love that game on there.
So it's like they're not sleeping on Xbox, but like we're talking about where now Sony is. As soon as Microsoft purchased Bethesda, now we see those games on Microsoft, which we kind of already seen it. When we see Final Fantasy and anything different and new and unique, it'll be on the Sony PlayStation because it's always been there.
Exactly.
Like the launch title for PlayStation 2, Dark Cloud? That was a nice adventure RPG.
Dark Cloud. I love that game. That was one of my favorite
But
games.
we see that on the Sony. You don't see that on the Xbox. Like,
No, those type of games are always made like.
Feel what a game should be on what console. The Switch kind of merges both and cool.
Which I love, yeah.
See, just like Nintendo. Nintendo's all about gaming for the kids, and that's their niche.
Well, they're not just for kids.
Now it's not.
It's basically what I see Nintendo is they don't focus on graphics.
They don't.
They focus on gameplay. They want their games to be fun, and that's their main goal is to make games fun.
And every system that they released was always innovative.
Always
innovative.
One of the best-selling systems ever in the world because everyone, not everyone, including their grandmothers, wanted a Wii because they had games like Wii Sports, Wii Fit. They had like all those type of games for like the older generation, and then they have like for the serious games they have like Super Mario, Legend of Zelda. Super Smash Brothers, they had that for the system, and then for like the younger, they had like the Mario, the typical platform, and then for the people like me, they had like RPGs like Xenoblade. They had Tales of Symphonia too, Arkwright's Fantasia, things like that. They had things for everything.
On the DS.
Well, they had that, but they also had it for the Wii. They've pretty much Nintendo, like you said, they had a lot of those like JRPGs, platformers, but their main stick is fun, innovation and fun. That's what they think.
Now they're playing catch up in a way. I won't say catch up.
Switch is doing well though. You can't even say.
PlayStation 5 copied DualSense controller based on the Joy-Con Nintendo. I'm not gonna lie. Everything that innovative, as far as that's concerned, was based on Nintendo and how innovative, how they tested the market and they went for it. Wii U, unfortunately, wasn't. It was just like.
Wii U was a mistake. Even as a Nintendo fanboy, mistake. I bought it, but it was a mistake.
So it's like, and I tried to tell you that it wasn't a good purchase. I remember having a
I traded a couple of games because I was like a little short on money. I remember I bought the thing because it was when we just moved into Fall River at the time. Yeah, I remember that because I was like, you told me don't buy. I was like, but I want to have it. I was like, okay, and yeah, it had some good games, but it was just it tanked. It didn't sell well. It lasted like not even like 5 years. No, it lasted like about 5 years, and then Switch came out, and that just took over everything.
Yeah, and Switch is doing amazing.
Selling so well, they're getting close to. I think they're getting close to Wii numbers now.
Yeah. So like I said, when Microsoft purchased Bethesda, Zenny Media.
Yeah, it's Media. Yeah.
Now they're trying to figure out what Sony gonna do.
I'm hoping Sony. Square Enix would be.
Square Enix is the best. They would melt my mind. But if you're not familiar with Final Fantasy games, there's other games that Enix has.
Yeah, they have a ton.
You see on the Sony as supposed to be on Sony, so it just makes sense.
Me personally, there's a lot of games that came on the PS1 that I personally would love, either a remake or a new like spiritual successor and things like that. Like Parasite Eve.
Yeah.
Brave Fencer and Musashi.
Yeah.
A new Saga Frontier game. That's not the remaster, like an actual new one. Yeah. Things like that. Like I personally would love that. And those are all Square titles. A new Chrono of the series because the last Chrono Cross came out in 2000. 21 years ago.
So if they did it on a mobile stuff, that would be fantastic. What if they did a remaster, a remake?
A remaster or a sequel series or something. Because that was one of my favorite. That was one of my favorite series growing up. Like I loved Chrono Trigger so much, and then I loved Chrono Cross too. But we haven't had one of those type of games. Like I understand those things don't sell well in America. I'm like a niche title. Like I know they sell fantastic in Japan, but they don't sell well here. I know that.
So if they were to buy it, I would think they'll go through regulators. What if it goes through this time? And Microsoft did it with Bethesda. That's a lot.
Honestly, it would be pretty awesome. It would be like I said, before I was like exclusives, but ever since they did the whole Bethesda thing, I'm just like, Sony kind of needs something.
Like, I want HBO Max to watch Louis right now.
Sony kind of needs something.
Service. But now it's gonna be Sony. I want to go play Elder Scrolls. Oh, gotta get an Xbox.
Luckily,
it's always been like that, but now they're like doubled down. Like they're putting their money onto it. So Microsoft made a statement. I want to know what Sony's going to do. And when this whole rumor came out, what do you mean buyers? What do you mean buy? What do you mean?
What? Is this actually going to happen? Are we getting Square? Is Sony getting Square Enix?
The trailer that I want so bad. Like they already wowed everybody with the Final Fantasy, and Super Smash Bros. And that was so epic. That's so epic.
That was pretty cool. They did that.
If a Square Enix representative gives you all the information, this is all gameplay footage. Goes black. It shows the PlayStation Studio. Not the official PlayStation.
Yeah.
PlayStation Studio just shows up and everything will be good to go. And then, bam. You know what I'm saying? Like that'd be crazy.
It would be pretty cool. That'd be a great way to announce it.
That'd be nuts. Let's see another one here. Do we have another one here?
Oh, sure.
Let's see. What other news do we got going on here? Let me check. Did we go through what we did go through? Or?
Yeah, I think we did, because we did Indieworld, we did Epic, we did the Resident Evil, we did Square Enix, you did the Cyberpunk.
Yep.
Something happened?
No.
Oh. So, yeah. So I think, I'm not sure. Is there something you want to add?
I'm about to real quick. Look, we gotta switch it up. Let me see what we have here. Nah, I think that was the topics we had. That was all the topics we had here.
Yeah.
And I went through it. Everything good. Let's see. Cool. Almost had a little malfunction, guys. Dumbass didn't have the phone plugged. So my whole froze was off.
Shoot.
I realized it was 20%. It showed low power mode. So I was like, oh, what? And I plugged it in, and then the ad came up.
How did you not plug in your phone?
Well, after the train wreck that we happened earlier, I was confused, so we just got situated.
Oh, God.
Yeah, man, that was a decent week.
Yeah.
Decent.
Some decent stuff. Like I said, the Resident Evil thing was pretty happy,
That
and then the
caught everybody
indie,
off guard.
and then the indie world thing
Yeah,
came out of nowhere.
that was good good research there because that came out like 2 days ago ish.
Wednesday.
Yeah,
It was Wednesday at 12
And
o'clock.
I just downloaded
Luckily, I
it.
was off that day, so I was
Yeah.
able to catch it right away. Like I literally caught it. I was like, I did what I had to do, watched it, and like I said, I was pleasantly surprised by it.
Yeah,
Pleasantly surprised.
that's gonna be good. I'm gonna try to play a demo, so I'll get my little experience in.
Get your take on it. And you know what's funny? They were mentioning it too during the Resident Evil thing. They want people to record gameplay of the people playing the demo. They want people to do that because they want people to see the game.
That's crazy. I mean, we can do this as soon as we could. Time is up. We can go try it.
No, it's not out till the 17th.
What do you mean?
17th.
Tomorrow.
Yes.
That's whack.
And you could pre-download it, but you can't play it until the 17th. Don't tell me to shut up.
Damn, man. That's tomorrow-ish, maybe, if we can.
Well, we're gonna be too busy, I think.
Too full.
Oh, too full, yeah.
Come on home like, bedtime.
Yeah, we don't want to play zombies where we like have full stomachs.
Yeah. Oh, get scared. Yeah, man. So it's been a good week. Next week, hopefully, we're gonna be on. Let me get my focus on here. Saturday next week this time.
Yeah, Saturday.
Saturday, 7:30 p.m. Saturdays. We'll promote.
Hopefully, actually 7:30.
Yeah. I'm not gonna sit here and use the initials of the reasons why we're late. Sometimes food needs to be in the system a little bit so we can carry on. Function. We're still trying to do what we're gonna get now. So if we're late. My bad. We're gonna try to get it so we're streaming soon, and then when we're late, we'll still see it, and then we'll just pop in.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the goal.
That would be pretty cool.
Well, my goal is to get it customized, so we have a custom one.
Oh, that'd be
I really
cool.
want to use somebody else's, then like kind of pick a point and something we all just messed up, and my whole groove of working all this is all thrown off. So I want to get something that we have our own thing. You want to go and shout out the artwork here behind us?
Oh, as you can see behind my own brother is done by one of my good friends. Her name is Liz. She does amazing work. She has a little comic series. She has a little Patreon. We'll shout that out. Maybe put it in our comments or something. Yeah, put it in the comments. But yeah, she does amazing work, and she's in the process of making another thing for us, which hopefully we should be able to show up.
Maybe the end of the day we'll get the intro and all that.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
The ending and
I mean, we're excited about that because we saw some of the thing. It looks pretty cool. So I'm really excited about that. But yeah, she does amazing work. We'll definitely next week. Yeah, next week we'll shout out to her. Then maybe put links to stuff in our description or something like that.
Yeah,
That'd be pretty cool.
we're gonna do credit where credit's due. So we're gonna do that. And hopefully next week is jam packed.
Hopefully that would be good.
We'll just talk about other random things.
Oh yeah, we got a lot of topics to talk about if need to be.
Gaming,
Easy.
Again, catch us on B.o.P on Twitter, YouTube, Twitch. We'll ask you a couple of games as well. We are now on TikTok. Got our first little video that's up there, so check that out. Any news? Pretty much gonna be news or just random other TikTok type of videos. But make sure you tune into that.
Still have to figure out how to work that pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna say I'm a pro. 'Cause I'm not.
We'll figure it
Figure
out.
out kind of how to do it. It sucks.
We're millennials. We'll figure it out. We're millennials. We'll figure it out.
I feel so defeated. I'm usually the technology type of dude. I grab it, and now it's like, what kind of this, doing that, this. Like it's crazy. So we're gonna do that. It's gonna be great. Again, what other plugs we got here? We got other channels we got.
We got Twitch, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, of course, Facebook. Don't forget about Twitter.
Twitter.
Anchor too.
Anchor. Yes.
Yeah, don't forget. We're gonna have the vocal versions of our things. Pretty much everything you see on the podcast, it'll just be the voice versions. We'll put that on Anchor for people who don't want to see the video. They could just hear us on the speaker of their car or whatever.
Don't YouTube and watch the YouTube videos. You hear it on Anchor. everywhere you get your podcasts.
Yeah, exactly.
So every podcast, besides the visuals, you get the audio. So it's a special visuals because you get the expressions, you get the
Of course. But it's good to hear it too. People want to hear it too. So.
Yeah. So again, thank you guys for tuning in, sharing this, Karen. Make sure you share it. Comment any questions or any of this random.
Comment, like, subscribe, all that, all the funny
good
stuff. Yes.
And we are out until next week.